Here's your General Hospital spoiler sneak peek at some of the action that will take place in Port Charles the week of August 11 to 15, 2025. Be sure to tune in to ABC each weekday to see how it all plays out. Monday, August 18th, 2025. Britt puts on an act Drew confronts. Sonny Sidwell is evasive about his feelings for Lucy Brooke. Lynn opens up about Lois Stella. Is in the hot seat. Jason wants answers. Lucas works to save the life of someone dear to him. Nina loses her cool. Jocelyn and Vaughn plot their next move. Anna makes a cautious alliance. Lucas delivers bad news. Anna floats a theory. Lulu is shaken. Emma confides in Gio. Alexis takes on a new client. Drew is incensed. Ava gets intriguing intel. Michael and Sonny get the upper hand. Curtis is on the warpath. Molly comes to a realization. Lulu and Obrecht rehash the past. Carly voices. Her concern to Brennan Willow makes a big ask. Elizabeth encourages Christina. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Donna Corinthos' birthday party could bring a shocker. Will this lead to Giovanni Gio Palmieri's family breakthrough or a total disaster? In the August 14th episode, Donna reminded Gio that he said he'd play the violin at her birthday bash, which is coming up in September. Since Gio smashed his violin and has given up on music, at least for now, he had to go back on his word. Gio admitted his violin broke and that he wouldn't be able to play after all, but he assured Donna that he'd still be at her birthday party. Although Gio knows Brooklyn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri will presumably be there too, he doesn't want to let Donna down by not attending. It feels like the show could be setting up something interesting when it comes to Donna's birthday gathering. That's especially true now that Dante and Brooklyn have been strategizing on how to tear down Gio's walls. Brooklyn tried to convince Dante to focus on building his own relationship with Gio and leave her out of it. Since Brooklyn worries Gio may never forgive her, she doesn't want to be the reason Dante misses out on his own bond with their son. However, Dante insisted they should do this together, so he won't leave Brooklyn out when it comes to family bonding. Donna's birthday bash could be the perfect opportunity for a family breakthrough where Gio starts to soften toward his parents. It's even possible that Gio will have a change of heart and perhaps borrow a violin or use an old backup at the gathering. It would mean the world to Donna if Gio would play at the party, so he might keep his original promise in the end. On the other hand, there's always the potential for disaster to strike when a soap party is scheduled. There's a chance Gio, Brooklyn, and Dante could be headed for a tough family setback if a blow-up happens instead. Things may not go according to plan, depending on which way GH writers want to take this. Regardless, General Hospital spoilers say Donna's birthday could bring some stunning news and some big moments, so stick with us for updates on all the excitement. General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, August 18th to August 29th, reveal that Anna Devane will have a theory to discuss while Willow Tate focuses on a huge request. Nina Reeves's rage will also erupt while Carly Spencer deals with some alarm bells. During the week of August 1822, Britt Westbourne will be forced to think fast and will rope Jason Morgan into a charade as she works to protect them both. Jocelyn Jacks will also save Vaughn's life and scheme with him in the aftermath, so their WSB assignment will come with more twists and turns. Although Jocelyn was supposed to be scrubbed from that mission, Vaughn will view her as less of a liability and more of an asset after she rescues him. Back in Port Charles, Drew Kane will face off with Sonny Corinthos over Michael Corinthos' punch. Although Drew will be willing to toss Michael in the slammer if Sonny doesn't cooperate, ADA Justine Turner could become a surprising source of help for Sonny. Later, Drew's anger will be on the rise again, while Sonny and Michael gain an advantage. Nina will also blow her top, so she may find out about Drew manipulating Wiley Corinthos and provoking Michael. Drew may not be doing himself any favors with Willow, who seems poised to lash out over his actions. Whatever the case, Willow's going to extend a huge request to someone. We'll see if that involves another plea to Michael regarding the kids, or perhaps a favor from Harrison Chase instead. Back with Nina, she'll turn to Rick Lansing for more help, so that'll no doubt involve a legal meeting for Willow's sake. Over with Anna, she'll proceed with caution when it comes to an alliance she's about to form. Anna might tell Jack Brennan that they have to trust each other before sharing a new theory. Will Anna suspect that Colette Moreau is the rat who blew Jocelyn and Vaughn's cover at the Five Poppies Resort? At GH, Stella Henry will get stressed out over the insurance fraud investigation that she's landed at the center of. Could that set the stage for Stella to suffer another stroke and have a serious medical scare? Lucas Jones will fight to save the life of someone he cares about, so it could be Stella. Curtis Ashford will also turn vengeful once he realizes Drew's truce was never legit. While Ava Jerome gets updates on some interesting information, Molly Lansing Davis will realize something. Will Molly figure out that Christina Corinthos Davis sabotaged her budding romance with Cody Bell and wonder why? Next, Carly will hear some alarm bells and open up to Brennan. If Carly can't get in touch with Jocelyn on her fake Australia trip, it could leave her mom concerned. The week of August 25th to 29 will bring more shockers at the Five Poppies Resort. Jason may push Britt to leave with him after he realizes how shady this project is, but she may insist she can't because of her medication doses. The only way Britt will continue to receive those is if she keeps the boss happy and continues her lab work. As for Lulu Spencer, she has more challenges ahead of her when it comes to taking in Outback and dealing with more Liesl Obrecht drama. Rocco Falconeri will remain curious about Britt, and his curiosity is only going to grow stronger when he realizes she's alive down the road. General Hospital spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some showdowns and wild news, so don't miss all the action. General Hospital spoilers reveal that both Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate could lose custody in a major twist. Will secrets and impulsive acts change everything? Willow has already been worried about the consequences of the slap she delivered to Lucas Jones. Lucas agreed not to report it for now, but that could change depending on where the story goes from here. Willow could face termination at GH, which would mean bad news for her chances of getting custody rights back or even visitation. The last thing Willow needs is to lose her source of income and stability because of a physically harmful meltdown. Of course, Dante Falconeri also offered to look into the traffic cam footage from near the Quartermain estate on the 4th of July. If they can prove Willow was in her car approaching the Q mansion, it'd help make the case that Willow was Daisy Gilmore's stalker. That could be another huge strike against Willow, but she's not the only one making bold moves that could cost her. Michael just decked Drew in front of plenty of witnesses at the Metro Court, so now Drew could have him arrested for assault. Drew already stopped by Sonny's place to use the situation as leverage, so he's wasting no time. Although ADA Justine Turner might get involved and try to shut Drew down, his feud with Michael isn't going away. Michael and Sonny will gain an advantage in the aftermath of all this, but furious Drew will no doubt find a way to retaliate. If this keeps up and Michael continues to let himself get manipulated, he may have one too many hostile outbursts. Michael and Willow's acts of aggression could cost them both custody of Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos depending on where things go from here. Could someone like Carly Spencer or even Nina Reeves get custody of the kids in the end? Amelia and Wiley's future is uncertain at this point, so stick with us for updates on all the custody messes that are still to come from Willow and Michael. General Hospital spoilers say Michael and Willow have more curveballs ahead, so stay tuned to the ABC soap. General Hospital. Best of the Week, August 11th to August 15th, 2025. Welcome to the Best of the Week for General Hospital, where we highlight some of the week's standout moments, scenes, notables, quotables, fashion, and more. Willow slapping Lucas. I'm all over the place with this one. In one way, Lucas's rant was like a pass-me-the-popcorn moment as I watched him say things to Willow that she deserved to hear. In another, his judgy McJudgerton attitude was a bit much, and will definitely come back to bite him when he has to face the music with Marco. Regardless, it's never a good idea to smack your coworker in the face unless, maybe, you're both taking part in a random TikTok challenge. Willow did race through nursing school, though, so she might need to revisit her notes on the Hippocratic Oath. That said, the dramatic look of shock on both of their faces after she slapped him was kinda hysterical. They should have just formed a conga line behind Michael so everyone could get their turn with Drew. Wowza! This was intense. To say Drew is detestable is an understatement. How it's possible for someone to walk around with that much rage, resentment, and entitlement and not spontaneously combust, I do not know. The look in Alexis's eyes was pure Natasha Cassadine, and I am so here for it. Someone needs to remind Drew that Alexis pushed Luis Alcazar off a balcony and ran over Kiefer like a woodland creature without even batting an eye. Nancy Lee Grahn and Cameron Matheson were so good in these scenes. You could physically feel Alexis's seething astonishment at Drew's callous disregard of Sam's life and any sense of decency. I don't know who will finally slay the Drew Kane dragon, but I certainly hope Alexis will be a big part of it. I love Tracy and Cody in scenes together, and this one was particularly endearing. Cody Bell is such a work in progress with many good qualities, and he needs a friend like Tracy to remind him of that. Regardless of what the scene calls for, Jane Elliott and Josh Kelly are always a delight to watch. Their chemistry and natural rapport make their characters' unlikely friendship feel genuine and sweet. Liesl asking Anna for a character reference at the Metro Court restaurant, the looks on Liesl, Carly, Anna, and Brennan's faces were priceless. I enjoyed Mama Bear Laura putting Liesl in her place, even if it only lasted for a minute. Even the tie-straightening, opportunistic Ezra Boyle looks like he's starting to see Drew as too intense. Jason and Britt finally saw each other. "You mean, who was she? She's supposed to be dead." Joss. "A few years ago, she supposedly died saving me from a serial killer." Vaughn. "Definitely going to need that story later." Joss. "She was the daughter of Liesl Obrecht and Cesar Faison." Vaughn. "That's a pretty notorious family tree." Joss and Vaughn talking about Britt. "She's a thug. Never mind the designer clothes. She's been to prison. If she doesn't shoot you, she's going to blow you up in a car. Or she'll run you down with her car." Tracy, warning Cody about dating Ava. "Okay, well, Mrs. Nash would never be in an open marriage." Joss to Vaughn after she saw him flirting with Britt. "He's a self-promoting narcissist who is still trying to extract all the wealth and power he can from my family name." Tracy talking about Drew to Stella Jocelyn's long knit dress by Zara. As Rachel Zoe would say, "This look is bananas." Britt's Ferenzi Kiana, Carol beaded bikini top by Vixen Geometric Pattern Sarong. I like the beading on the bikini top, although that would make for a mean tan line. Britt's Bohemian striped pattern, maxi dress with resin tortoise shell hoops. Chic Jordan's Hourglass Viscose Linen Blazer in Frosted Celery Green by Banana Republic, worn with a white t-shirt and wide-legged blue jeans. Casual but classy. In the ever-turbulent world of Port Charles, a storm is gathering around the Quartermain family, and at its center is young Scout Quartermain. Sources close to the family report that her grandmother, Legal Eagle Alexis Davis, is preparing to make a dramatic legal move against Drew Kane, convinced his erratic behavior and poor judgment have created an unstable and damaging environment for the child. Scout has been reeling from the recent devastating loss of her mother, Sam McCall. In the wake of this tragedy, Drew's actions have only compounded her grief. He has effectively isolated Scout from her siblings, Danny Morgan and Rocco Falconeri, severing the vital bonds that could offer her comfort. Furthermore, his decisions have distanced her from the wider Quartermain clan, a family known for its unwavering support in times of crisis. Alexis sees a child adrift, cut off from the stability she desperately needs. Adding fuel to the fire is Drew's increasingly distracted life. His political ambitions and a hasty, failed romance with Willow Tate have left little room for the attentive parenting a grieving child requires. For Scout, Willow's abrupt departure was yet another painful abandonment, mirroring the instability that has plagued her young life. These red flags have not gone unnoticed by Alexis, who sees her granddaughter's emotional well-being hanging in the balance. Whispers suggest Alexis has been consulting with fellow attorneys, building a powerful case centered on emotional neglect. The tipping point may have arrived during the dramatic events of the August 12th episode, which showcased Scout's own desperate attempts to reconnect with her brothers and the Quartermain family. Her actions were a clear cry for help that her grandmother cannot ignore. Drew's vindictive reaction, particularly his aggressive move to have Danny arrested, has portrayed him not as a protective father, but as a man spiraling out of control. Alexis is convinced she is honoring her late daughter's wishes. Sonny&Micahel, a fierce protector of her children, would have insisted on Scout being raised alongside Danny and Rocco. With this legacy in mind, Alexis is now poised to file an emergency custody petition. Drawing parallels to past Port Charles custody battles, she aims to prove that while Scout may not be in physical danger, the emotional chaos surrounding Drew is causing undeniable harm. The stage is set for a courtroom showdown that could redefine the family and determine Scout's future once and for all. General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, August 18th to August 29th, reveal that Anna Devane will have a theory to discuss, while Willow Tate focuses on a huge request. Nina Reeves's rage will also erupt while Carly Spencer deals with some alarm bells. During the week of August 1822, Britt Westbourne will be forced to think fast and will rope Jason Morgan into a charade as she works to protect them both. Jocelyn Jacks will also save Vaughn's life and scheme with him in the aftermath, so their WSB assignment will come with more twists and turns. Although Jocelyn was supposed to be scrubbed from that mission, Vaughn will view her as less of a liability and more of an asset after she rescues him. Back in Port Charles, Drew Kane will face off with Sonny Corinthos over Michael Corinthos' punch. Although Drew will be willing to toss Michael in the slammer if Sonny doesn't cooperate, ADA Justine Turner could become a surprising source of help for Sonny. Later, Drew's anger will be on the rise again, while Sonny and Michael gain an advantage. Nina will also blow her top, so she may find out about Drew manipulating wily Corinthos and provoking Michael. Drew may not be doing himself any favors with Willow, who seems poised to lash out over his actions. Whatever the case, Willow's going to extend a huge request to someone. We'll see if that involves another plea to Michael regarding the kids, or perhaps a favor from Harrison Chase instead. Back with Nina, she'll turn to Rick Lansing for more help, so that'll no doubt involve a legal meeting for Willow's sake. Over with Anna, she'll proceed with caution when it comes to an alliance she's about to form. Anna might tell Jack Brennan that they have to trust each other before sharing a new theory. Will Anna suspect that Colette Moreau is the rat who blew Jocelyn and Vaughn's cover at the Five Poppies Resort? At GH, Stella Henry will get stressed out over the insurance fraud investigation that she's landed at the center of. Could that set the stage for Stella to suffer another stroke and have a serious medical scare? Lucas Jones will fight to save the life of someone he cares about, so it could be Stella. Curtis Ashford will also turn vengeful once he realizes Drew's truce was never legit. While Ava Jerome gets updates on some interesting information, Molly Lansing Davis will realize something. Will Molly figure out that Christina Corinthos Davis sabotaged her budding romance with Cody Bell and wonder why? Next, Carly will hear some alarm bells and open up to Brennan. If Carly can't get in touch with Jocelyn on her fake Australia trip, it could leave her mom concerned. The week of August 25-29 will bring more shockers at the Five Poppies Resort. Jason may push Britt to leave with him after he realizes how shady this project is, but she may insist she can't because of her medication doses. The only way Britt will continue to receive those is if she keeps the boss happy and continues her lab work. As for Lulu Spencer, she has more challenges ahead of her when it comes to taking in Outback and dealing with more Liesel Obrecht drama. Rocco Falconeri will remain curious about Britt, and his curiosity is only going to grow stronger when he realizes she's alive down the road. General Hospital spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some showdowns and wild news, so don't miss all the action. In Port Charles, trust is a hard-won currency, and Dr. Isaiah Gannon of General Hospital seemed to have it in spades. Known for his calm professionalism and genuine desire to help, he has long been a respected figure. But behind the composed exterior, a chilling obsession is taking root, and its target is the vulnerable Portia Robinson, who may be mistaking a predator for a protector. Portia finds herself emotionally adrift, caught in the tumultuous collapse of her marriage to Curtis Ashford. As her world fractures, Isaiah has expertly stepped into the void. Initially appearing as a supportive friend and a shoulder to cry on to the grieving and lonely Portia, his presence has been a comfort, a steady hand in the storm. Especially as Curtis remains emotionally distant, what Portia fails to see is that her vulnerability has become the perfect breeding ground for Isaiah's fixation. What began as gestures of kindness has morphed into a pattern of invasive, controlling behavior. Isaiah is no longer just offering advice. He is actively manipulating Portia's emotions. He systematically undermines Curtis, planting seeds of doubt about his fidelity with Jordan, and framing himself as the only man who truly understands Portia's pain. Each word of comfort is carefully calculated to increase her dependency on him, slowly isolating her from anyone who might see through his benevolent facade. The most disturbing element in Isaiah's descent is his remote cabin in the woods. Once described as a peaceful sanctuary for work and reflection, it now appears to be the command center for his obsession. Whispers around Port Charles suggest the cabin has been transformed into a surveillance hub, its walls adorned with photos of Portia, Curtis, and others, connected by a twisted web of red string. It is here, in solitude, that the respected doctor seemingly plots his next move to possess the woman he desires. Not everyone is fooled by Isaiah's performance. The ever-perceptive Felicia Scorpio has taken notice of his growing possessiveness and the subtle, yet sinister shift in his demeanor. Her attempts to question his intentions have been met with practiced deflection. But Felicia's intuition tells her that Isaiah is not a protector, but a predator hiding in plain sight. Isaiah Gannon's journey from trusted physician to obsessive manipulator is a chilling new chapter for Port Charles. He has masterfully positioned himself as Portia's savior while tightening his emotional grip. As he spirals deeper, the question is no longer if he will go too far, but when. Will Portia recognize the dangerous web she's caught in before it's too late? Or will Isaiah's twisted vision of love lead to devastating consequences? General Hospital's summer of 2025 brought us the return of two complicated characters living complicated lives. It turns out that Britt Westbourne never died on the Haunted Star, as 2022 turned into 2023. She's very much alive and living in a Croatian resort. Her mother, Liesl Obrecht, is back in Port Charles to get to know the teenage version of he embryo that Britt stole back in 2013. But what about Britt's father and brother? Could they be out there, too? As things stand now, Britt is not living a life of her own free will. She seems sequestered at this resort and is under orders to perform scientific research that has something to do with the animal testing in Professor Dalton's lab back in the States. Resort manager Pascal is around to manage Britt's life and keep her in check, but Britt is a bit resistant to that idea now. Instead, she just wants to be free to enjoy her life. Too bad whoever is giving her orders is threatening to withhold her medication if she doesn't do as told. She now knows that Jason has found her and could come to her rescue, but who is he rescuing her from? It's the kind of project you'd have to be both crazy and diabolical to undertake. Head writers Chris Van Etten and Elizabeth Court told Soap Opera Digest of the work Britt is being forced to do. That's the sort of person Britt and Dalton are working for. The excitement won't end with her. The Faison/Obrecht clan is just getting started. As fans know, Britt is a Faison, as her father is Caesar Faison, the uber villain who spent years stalking the object of his obsession, Anna Devane. Faison's son, Peter, inherited his father's psychotic ways and could also be behind Britt's beach resort imprisonment. However, both men are supposed to be dead, as is Britt's other brother, Nathan West. At least Nathan was a good guy. Could Britt's evil father or brother be keeping her captive? Both men are crazy and diabolical for sure, but it almost seems too obvious that they are behind what's going on with Britt. General Hospital sees Drew Kane Quartermain ready to pack up and move himself and Scout Kane to DC immediately. That's one of several red flags that has fans wondering if Cameron Matheson's time is up at GH and if fans are finally going to get what they want. Drew leaves town. We're going to talk about how Drew plans to rip his daughter Scout away from her family and leave Port Charles for good. Is it really going to happen, though? All right, let's talk about all the red flags pointing to Congressman Cutthroat's exit. The first is obvious. Everybody despises Drew on the show, And I think the majority of the GH fanbase also really hates him. Lots of people keep hoping that Cameron Matheson is going to exit to focus on, his other projects, because Drew is the victim in a murder mystery. That's what they're hoping. They just want to see him killed off. I mean, let's face it. Scout's dad keeps getting worse and worse. People already hate him for the way he ruined Willow Tate's marriage to Michael Corinthos. Since then, he's been non-stop manipulating and lying to Willow Tate. He has made all kinds of grimy moves. Drew bribed somebody at the burn clinic in Germany to lie and say Michael refused to see Willow. Plus, Drew traumatized Wiley Corinthos by saying awful things within his earshot. He was plotting to frame Michael Corinthos as an opioid addict. He blackmailed Nina Reeves, blackmailed Portia Robinson, blackmailed Curtis Ashford, and now Drew is going after Stella Henry. Just a laundry list of awful behavior. But this week, Drew really iced the hate cake for fans when he demanded that Detective Harrison Chase arrest Danny Morgan for taking his little sister Scout out of camp and over to the Q mansion. Scout asked Danny to bring her over for a visit. Drew tried to force Chase to arrest Danny Morgan right in front of Jason Morgan and Alexis Davis. They were both appalled. I'm sure fans are appalled too. Even Chase wasn't having it. He could tell this was just Drew's personal vendetta, another one. He shut it down. Plus, Scout asked Danny to take her to the Q's because she misses everybody there. Drew leaves Scout home with the nanny all the time while he's off doing busy congressman things and, various evil deeds. Chase absolutely refused to arrest Danny. But he did warn the teenager that if the camp had called 911, somebody else probably would have stopped his car and arrested him. Things would have gone very differently because he did take Scout away from camp without signing her out, without letting anybody know, and definitely without permission from her dad. What was really heinous was when Alexis Davis said that Sam McCall would want Scout Kane to be around her brother Danny Morgan and the rest of the family. We saw that Drew was just ice cold when he told Alexis that Sam's gone and he's the one who decides. That was the crux of what he said. Sam's dead. I'm the only parent around. It was just kind of terrible, reminding Alexis of everything she's lost. Now, she's about to lose more because of him. Drew sunk even lower and banned Alexis, Danny, and anybody else in the family from seeing or contacting Scout from that day forward. Alexis was absolutely reeling because she adores Scout, and she's all that Alexis Davis has left of Sam, who, of course, was murdered last year. She's that last little bit of Sam that Alexis Davis has. So this week, Drew Kane Quartermain says the best thing they can do is for him and Scout to move to DC as soon as possible. Drew is ready to just pack and go no matter what Scout wants. That's another red flag. The look on Alexis Davis's face when Drew banned them and marched out was pure murder. Don't forget, Alexis Davis has killed a couple of people. She murdered the guy who killed her sister, Louise Alcazar. She ran right over the guy who had been abusing Christina Corinthos Davis. So never count Alexis Davis out. Another red flag this week is that it's the 4th anniversary of Cameron Matheson's debut on General Hospital as the Drew the Recast. If Cameron Matheson were exiting, an anniversary would be a typical date. They usually write characters out or recast them at the end of an actor's contract, which usually runs in 1 to 3 year increments, or, 3 years with a 1-year renewal. That would align with the 4 years he's been on the show. However, despite all these red flags and fans on soap social media every day praying for Drew's murder, I do suspect he's not going anywhere, at least not for long and not right now. That would just be too easy, and it would make too many characters happy, too many fans happy. To me, it seems like a real long shot that Cameron Matheson is going anywhere. At most, I would say Frank Valentini might slide the character to the back burner while he plots moving away with Scout, then changes his mind. However, don't forget later this week, in official General Hospital spoilers, Molly Lansing Davis tries really hard to convince Drew to relent on banning Scout from the family and taking her away from Port Charles. Molly is a lawyer, so she may present a good, very calm case with clear facts that could change Drew Kane Quartermain's mind. In one way, it definitely feels like all the ducks are in a row for Drew's exit, either for him to leave town or for something really bad to happen, and he's pushing up daisies. Willow Tate has dumped him. Drew needs to be in DC for work. He wants Scout away from the family. He's ticked off more than one local crime lord, including both Sonny&Micahel and his enforcer, Jason, and Jens Sidwell. At the same time, though, Frank Valentini seems to like Cameron Matheson a lot. When a showrunner likes an actor, their character sticks around no matter how much fans hate them. Fans have been hating on Drew for quite a long time now, and Frank Valentini just doesn't care. As for some of Drew's other obstacles, they may resolve. Molly may broker peace between Drew and Alexis and facilitate the Scout issue. As for Willow, I kind of feel like Drew may be able to re-gaslight her into getting back with him. With Marco Rios urging his dad, Sidwell, to reveal the judge bribe scandal to tarnish Sonny, Willow could get partial custody of her kids, if not full custody. The case will get a new judge, and they may take a very dim view of Michael's dad doing bribery. They could blame Michael and get those kids back to Willow. If she does get Wiley and Amelia Grace Corinthos back, and Drew somehow tries to take credit for that, that might be a huge reason Willow softens on Drew. Willow's weak-minded because she was raised in a cult, so she could totally change her mind. Also, because we know that General Hospital is doing Monica Quartermain's character death this fall around October or November, and Erica Slezak is coming in allegedly to play her sister, it's kind of hard to imagine that Drew would leave when a Quartermain character is about to die. So, while there are many signs pointing to Drew's exit, there are just as many signs pointing to Cameron Matheson staying. Whether fans like it or not, we will update you if anything changes. For now, despite fans chanting for Drew's death, it seems like a long shot. Here is your General Hospital spoiler sneak peek video for Friday, August 15th, 2025. At one time, Britt Westbourne's mother brainwashed Jocelyn Jack's kinda-sorta brother to complete the mission, which was to basically kill Peter August. She controlled him via a hypnotic pen. Now, Dante's kinda-sorta sister has found that Liesel's allegedly dead daughter is actually alive during her first big WSB mission. However, Jocelyn is now happy to learn that she is being pulled from her WSB mission after making such a shocking discovery. There is no way that Jocelyn is going to give up now. She has to know how Britt is alive and why she is living at a Croatian resort that seems to be some sort of front for international crime. Back home in Port Charles, Jocelyn's brother Michael takes a swing at Drew after Drew provokes him. Michael and Drew have a public fight right in the middle of the Metro Court restaurant, but that seems to be the way Drew wants it. Drew will do anything to make Michael look bad. Never mind that Michael is his nephew and just spent months in a burn unit. If he can show that Michael has a bad temper, then maybe Willow can get her kids back. Or at least that seems to be Drew's line of thinking. Trina can tell there is something more going on with her parents than they have let on, so she questions Portia about what really happened with Drew. Portia is not saying. Instead, she is waiting for her husband, who is currently with Jordan. Aunt Stella has some questions about Jordan's new boss and why Tracy is listening to him. It's not like Tracy to bow down to someone and give up so easily. However, Tracy took Sidwell's warnings to heart and is not about to destroy Deception due to her vendetta against Sonny. As for Sonny, he receives a visit from Turner, who is ready to offer an apology. But for what? General Hospital recap for Friday, August 15th reveals that Drew Kane crossed the line with Wiley Corinthos and earned Michael Corinthos' punch. Jocelyn Jacks also pulled the trigger as some mayhem broke out, so here's how things went down in Friday's fantastic episode. At Jordan Ashford's new place, Curtis Ashford offered his approval and had champagne with her when she got the news it was officially hers. Jordan and Curtis shared a rather charged moment, so Curtis took off in a hurry. Meanwhile, Portia Robinson tried on dresses for her special night with Curtis and talked to Trina Robinson about wanting things to be perfect for their fresh start. Once Portia met up with Curtis for the TV chef's private tasting, they connected over dinner and wound up in the bedroom afterward. At GH, Isaiah Gannon asked for Felicia Scorpio's advice on whether he was obligated to spill if he saw someone with an ex when they were working on their marriage. Felicia ultimately pushed Isaiah to stay out of it, but he felt there was another way to act and called Jordan later. At Sonny Corinthos' house, Donna Corinthos asked her dad if they could have pizza for dinner. When 8A Justine Turner showed up, Donna met her and wanted her to stay for dinner. Sonny helped talk Justine into sticking around, so she spoke to him privately after the meal wrapped up. Justine was sorry for how she treated Sonny before, so he hinted about her not receiving any more anonymous gifts that would make things awkward for her. At the Metro Court, Tracy Quartermain met up with Stella Henry, so they both spied Drew across the room with Martin Gray. When Michael walked in with Wiley, Tracy tried to claim they were out of hot fudge and caramel. It was Tracy's way of trying to help Michael avoid sticking around for the sundae he promised Wiley. However, Michael acted like Tracy was joking and insisted on staying with Wiley despite Drew's presence in the restaurant. Martin reminded Drew that Willow Tate didn't want his help, but Drew hinted about showing her how much she needed it. Michael eventually left Wiley alone at the table for a moment, which gave Drew a chance to approach the kid and play up how much Willow missed him. When Michael came back with Tracy, Wiley was upset over Drew's revelation and pushed Michael to let him see Willow. Tracy got fed up with Drew and decided she was pulling her support for Measure C. After Tracy led Wiley out, Drew provoked Michael with more Willow talk and wondered when he'd stop lying to Wiley about his mother. Michael finally decked Drew, and based on Drew's smug expression, it was exactly what he wanted. As Michael gave Tracy updates on what happened, he revealed the punch and seemed to regret letting Drew manipulate him. Drew headed to Sonny's place, where ADA Turner ducked out of sight and eavesdropped. While Justine was hiding, Drew prepared to use the threat of Michael's assault arrest to get what he wanted from Sonny. Stella made her way to the hospital, where she griped to Felicia about Drew trying to turn Wiley against Michael. Once Jordan showed up, Stella invited her to dinner next week since Marshall Ashford would be in town. Suddenly, a couple of financial services and fraud division agents arrived, ready to ask Stella questions, so they caught her off guard. At the Five Poppies Resort, Jocelyn looked at a map of the grounds thanks to a tablet she'd stolen from a housekeeping cart. Vaughn said he could take it from here since Jocelyn had been scrubbed from the mission. Jocelyn argued that she could avoid Britt Westbourne, but Vaughn insisted she was a liability and suggested they could stage a fight to end their fake honeymoon early. After Jocelyn stomped off, a resort employee concealed a gun on a drink cart and got Vaughn to open up. Once the employee was inside and Vaughn realized what was really happening, a struggle ensued. Jocelyn came back to find the employee in the midst of his attack on Vaughn, so she drew a weapon, aimed it, and fired. While Britt bickered with Pascal again, Jason took a car to the Five Poppies and began the check-in process. Britt appeared in the distance and exchanged a stare with him in a powerful moment. General Hospital spoilers say more chaos is about to erupt at the Five Poppies Resort. To stay tuned. Lucas is front and center this week. It seems lives are on the line this week, both in Port Charles and at the Five Poppies. You won't want to miss these 3 major moments this week on General Hospital. Lucas has been on the canvas a lot lately, from his growing relationship with Marco to his current feud with Carly. On Tuesday, he's front and center when he tries saving the life of someone close to him. Midweek, Lucas is left to deliver bad news. Does the doctor lose a patient, and if so, who? No one notable is currently in the hospital or in any danger, so whatever goes down early this week may have a devastating end. Now that Stella has been approached by authorities about an insurance fraud claim, she'll have no choice but to tell the truth about how she helped Martin with his insurance woes when he injured his back. But considering Curtis is said to be on the warpath by Thursday, something tells us things don't go well for Stella, and it's all because of Drew. The moment we've all been waiting for finally arrived on Friday. Jason and Britt came face to face from across the resort, and it's only a matter of time until the past lovers reunite. Britt will start the week putting on an act, presumably because she runs into Mr. Moore. But by Tuesday, Jason will be demanding answers, and the only person who can give them is Britt. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!